Good afternoon, savvy savers. Anthea from Bright Spenders here, doing a Facebook Live Thursday. It must be Facebook Live Day, I think. Anyway, I just thought I would check in with you today because I have a question for you. And I'm asking this question because this recently happened, only a day or so ago, to someone that one of my fellow spending planners is about to start working with. So someone was referred to her as a client and they had just won $600,000 in one of the lottos. I forget which one it was. I'm not really a big lotto kind of person, but I think it was X Lotto or something like that. Anyway, so they won this money, but they were still going to see her because they knew the stats on winning a huge amount of money like that, that most people who win lotto or, any kind of thing like that, they're usually broke within 12 months. So they knew they needed help. They did, I think, pretty much straight away go out and buy themselves new cars. It was a couple. But they knew that they pretty quickly had to get help to manage this money because otherwise they would just burn through it. So it was really interesting and it made me think, I think I want to ask you guys what you would do. Like if you won $600,000, would you rather win a house to that value or would you rather have the cash, and why? I mean, it's just an interesting kind of question, For me, I'm just trying to think what I would do. I think probably knowing that I have a system that helps me manage my money, I would probably invest that money in shares or something like that. If I was given a house, I guess it would depend where that house was. If it was in an area that was maybe going to appreciate, or maybe it was a house that I could put some tenants in, and I don't know. It's a really interesting question. So please put your comments below. What would you spend that money on? And the other thing I wanted to share with you today was a lot of people. Oh, I've got someone watching, but I don't know who it is. Hello, person. Please say hello and write a comment below. So one of the things that I was thinking about as well that I'd like to share with you is a big tip on how to manage your money, how to build fences around your money. So this is one of the first things that we take people through in our spending planner program, and that is to set up the right bank account structure. So it's really important to set up the right bank accounts to protect you from your own worst enemy, which is you. All of us are our own worst enemy. If we see surplus funds, or we think they're surplus funds just lying around in an account, then chances are we're going to dip into the cookie jar at some point. So what we really encourage people is to set up at least 3 different accounts. So the first one is for predictable regular expenses, and we call that the bills account. So this is for things like your mortgage payments, your rent payments, your what else? Anything that's got a date, basically, and an amount. You know how much it's going to be, you know when it's going to be. So even things like birthdays. Everyone has a birthday. Everyone, you know what you want to spend for that person. So we can actually put that in as a predictable expense. What else? Christmas is always predictable as well. So we know how much we want to budget for Christmas. We can put that in as a predictable expense too. Other things like Netflix, anything that has a date and a buy when and an amount attached to it. So that's the bills account. Then there's another account for unpredictable expenses. So we call this the rubbery expenses account. These are things that you will be spending money on, but you don't necessarily know when it's going to happen. So for instance, clothing is a really good example of a rubbery expense. It is, you might know roughly how much you want to budget for the year, but you don't know when you're going to buy clothes. You might want to have a pool of cash ready for the sales that come around, or if you see something you really, really like. So what we do with those things is we work out what's the annual that you would like to spend on those things. Then we divide it into 12 or 26 weekly payments and have that transferred into its own special account for all of those rubbery type things. So things like clothing, maybe eating out at restaurants that's not so regular, all those sorts of things. Now the other account, the third account, is for weekly living expenses. So these are things like food, fuel, fun, and incidentals. Sorry, got a frog in my throat. And so these are things that you spending money on every single week. So we decide how much do we need for these things, and it might be $200, it could be $100, it could be $300 or more. So we decide how much does that need to be, and we transfer the money into that account on a set day of the week, every single week. So you know that that's your amount of money. If you get to, I don't know, within a day short of the end of the week and you haven't got any money left in that account, then you ain't going anywhere, baby. You are staying at home, you are eating baked beans, and you are riding your bike everywhere. So it's a really nice, hard, fast stop on spending. And it really helps people know this is exactly how much I have. And you start to get creative about, not going to the grocery store every single day. You know exactly how much you've got to spend for the week. So you start to become very conscious about your spending. And it's very, very easy to see whether you're overspending. So that's my big tip for the day, is to set up a minimum of 3 accounts. If you're self-employed, you will need your own separate account for business and for tax and all those things. But if you're just a straight salary wage earner, 3 accounts is really all you need. And then, so we show you how to set that up. You'll be able to see also when you have a spending plan what those bank account balances need to be on every single day of the year, basically going out from here now until 10 years time, which is pretty cool information to have. Do you know what your bank balance needs to be today to cover all of those future expenses? Do you know what it needs to be next week, next month, next year? That is really crucial information to have. And with that, I'm going to sign off. Please let me know which you would rather win. I would love to start a conversation about this because I think it's really interesting to find out. Signing off now, everyone. Bye.